I aim for this video to be the most comprehensive but actionable and simplistic conversation around the most important pillars when it comes to manifesting money or anything else you want in your life. I'm 27 years old. 5 years ago, I had a phone taped to my face selling payroll, making $40,000 a year. Now I build brands for celebrities, now I have my own companies, and I've been able to do these things at a faster rate, all because of the ability to learn how to manifest. And it gets watered down a lot, I know, but it really is real. See, in the movies, people have the superpower of flying or invisibility, but human beings in real life have the superpower of creation, of manifesting, of using our minds to create our reality in a thought world. So I'm going to go through the 10 pillars that I found most important. This is probably going to be a longer video. Take some notes, jot it down, speed me up if you need to. But I'm really going to go in depth on the 10 things I've been doing. And I've studied this for years. I've practiced this for years. It works. It works and it's incredible. And it all starts with faith. So the first pillar that I want to talk about is having faith in the light of doubt. Because when you're wanting to manifest, you're typically in a position that you don't want to be in, right? Nobody really is coming to study the law of attraction, law of manifesting when they already have their millions, they already have their perfect life, they already have their perfect car, and they're like, you know what, I want to learn how to create my own reality. It doesn't really happen like that, right? Typically, in these moments where we're wanting to create our own reality, we're in an environment or in a situation or in a current external reality we don't want to be in, right? And so we want to create change. And so we start looking for answers. And this oftentimes comes up. And so when I talk about faith, this is oftentimes the most difficult aspect to really nail down. Because like I said, you're probably currently working a job you don't want to, or you want to grow your business more. And so having faith in the light of adversity is very, very difficult. That is why most people don't manifest. Because they want to lose weight, but they look at the mirror and they step on the scale and they're fat. And so how can they have faith that they're going to be shredded when everything around them says otherwise? But let me tell you something. If you can have faith, I know we're going to go through 10 pillars, but faith is king, okay? If you can have faith in not fear, worry, doubt, or any negative emotion in the light of adversity, when things are looking awful, it's called trusting in the dawn. Because it's always darkest before it's lightest. So if in those moments where you're broke, where you're this, where you're that, and you can have faith that it's all yours, it's all coming, you can do anything. It turns you into a mastermind. I'm gonna write that. Makes you a mastermind. You can conquer fate. You can literally conquer fate in real time if you can look at a bad external reality and have faith over fear. And in a practice you should do, an exercise you should do on a daily basis, hell, even hourly, to be honest, is ask yourself, am I moving in faith or fear? Do I have faith or worry? Do I have faith or doubt? In every single thing you do, you need to be anchored in faith. And there's a couple ways you can increase your faith over time. Obviously, we're going to get into a lot more pillars and we're going to be going a lot more deeper on this. But you have to, this is the bedrock of everything, okay? And your subconscious mind is what we need to get on board with faith. Because it's very easy as a conscious mind to say, I'm watching this video, I have faith, right? But you stop watching this video, you go back to where you're, boom, right? Boom, you're hit with this wave of worry, this wave of doubt, this wave of uncertainty, this wave of fear, and you need to be in faith. You need to maintain it every single second of your being. That whatever it is that you want is already yours. Certainty, ownership, acting as is. Faith is king. You must master faith. And we're talking about trusting in the dawn when things get really bad, right? And oftentimes, when you're testing your subconscious mind and you're manifesting and you're doing all these things are going to get actually worse. It's going to be called a subconscious flare-up. And so it's in those moments, like I'll give you an example. In business, right? In business a while ago, all of these deals were falling through. Like literally, like people were even trying to pay me and cards were getting declined. And I'm like, what the? I'm just like, this is a test. This is a subconscious flare-up. It's going to appear in your external world. And in those moments, you have to anchor in faith. You have to have faith that what it is that is yours is going to come. And 2 days later, I made $30,000 in a day. 2 days later, after all these cards were getting declined, weeks of uncertainty, weeks of cancellations, like literally, it was weeks of the world just collapsing around me. But I chose faith, and I smiled, and I danced, and I had gratitude because I knew it was coming. And then literally out of nowhere, 30K deal in one day. That's the power of faith. When all shit hits the fan, you have to be anchored in faith. You have to know that very, very certainly. Number 2, let's talk words and incantations. Very, very powerful. Words, spelling, is a spell, right? It's in the word of spelling / incantations. These are very powerful. Why are they powerful? What is the premise? It programs the subconscious mind. So, on my phone, literally on my phone screen, I have what's called an incantation written out as my background. And it speaks, of course, in present tense. And it's like, I, Jared Joseph Jennings. And the incantation says, I, Jared Jennings, and this and that and this and that. I do this, I do that, I do this, all in present tense. It's like a creed. It's something you need to be saying every single day. You need to own it. And it needs to be anchored in all of the amazing positive things that you want to embody in your life. Health, abundance, love, faith, power, influence, whatever it is that is very important to you for your aligned purpose of life. That is your incantation. You say it in present tense, I am blank, and then follow it. Hit a couple paragraphs, screenshot it, put it as your put it as your phone background. Because it needs to be in front of you at all times. It needs to be in front of you at all times. Let's talk about words and affirmations. When we're talking about faith, and we're talking about programming the subconscious mind, like I said, easy on a conscious level, more difficult on a subconscious level, because you have years of programming, right? You have years of programming. You have years of programming. Your parents say, well, money doesn't grow on trees, and whatever it is that you grew up in, right? It could be bad, it could be not so great, it could be okay. Nonetheless, we've been programmed on a very deeply subconscious level by society over the years. We just have. And so, in order to undo a lot of that, which we must if we want to get to this frequency and manifest millions or whatever it is that you want to manifest, words are powerful for reprogramming that. And so we always want to say our affirmations, our words, in a present tense, present ownership. I am, I am, I am. And if you want to make it more powerful, we need to attach feeling to it, okay? And that's going to be number 3. Feeling and emotion. And that's going to go into number 4 as well. So this is so important. Words crumble if you don't have feeling and emotion. So let me explain why. If you're in a lethargic emotional state, or maybe you're in a very hurt state, maybe somebody just did you terribly wrong. You got deceived, decepted. You're in this emotional feeling of resentment, whatever it is, and you're saying affirmations to program yourself. Do you think they're gonna land? No, they're not gonna land. You have to have that emotional charge. You have to be feeling the energized state, the poised state, the gratitude state, the abundance state, right? And the easiest way to do this is to think of what it would be like to have it right now, okay? What would it be like? You wanna manifest money? Let's just say you're thinking of yourself on a yacht. Right? You're on a yacht, it's your yacht, whatever the case, you're in this beautiful area. That would probably feel damn good. Probably feel very exciting. How would you say words when you're feeling that way? How would you say words when you're feeling that energized? You'd probably say them in a different way than if you were feeling resentment or worry or doubt, right? You probably have a lot more faith because fuck, I'm on a yacht, of course I have faith. Look at my life. That's the electrical charge in the frequency of how you need to say words. And so you can say words for a ton of different things. The Word is Your Wand is an amazing book with tons of amazing affirmations. Go pick up that book and say those affirmations. My favorite aspect, I'll give you a little trick when you're saying these, right? So you can say, I am rich, I am this, I am that, whatever it is, present tense. You also want to add every single affirmation with under grace and perfect ways. Let me give you a very good example of when I wasn't doing this. I didn't know I should be doing this, and it didn't come under grace and perfect ways. I really want to make $100 grand a month last year. I really want to make $100 grand a month. So this became priority number 1 for my manifesting. And I did. But I wasn't saying under grace and perfect ways. I wasn't precise enough with my words. Words need precision. They need accuracy. They need to be very precise in the way you say them. If you stutter, if you cough, if you say them anything less than a complete, certain feeling, they're not going to land. Okay? So I was saying my affirmations around 100 grand a month, 100 grand a month. And I did. But I wasn't saying under grace and perfect ways. So what happened was I made 100 grand, but a lot of it wasn't profit. I had a lot of costs involved, et cetera, et cetera. So it wasn't perfect, right? It wasn't under grace and perfect ways because I didn't keep the 100 grand a month. That was my misstep in my affirmations. The money came, 100 grand came, just like I said it would, but it wasn't under grace and perfect ways because I had a lot of costs. And so you really need to be precise with your feeling and also your words. Under grace, perfect ways, amazing feeling, precise language, very, very precise, with 100% certainty. That's the power. Now, while we're talking about feeling and emotion, let's talk about state. State is so important. Whatever. State. Master your state. This makes everything easier, okay? If you're not in a good state, we just talked about resentment, we just talked about negative emotions. If you're not in a good energetic state, very hard to have belief and faith when you're doing this. Because again, you're going to have subconscious flare-ups, things are going to get hard, your subconscious mind is going to test you, society, the external world is going to look really grim, right, while you're doing this. And so if you're tired, if you're lethargic, if you don't feel captivated by the magic of life, this is going to be very hard to maintain your faith. But if you feel energized and excited every single day, you change your state, right? You're more energized, you feel amazing every single day. We've all felt amazing from time to time. When you feel absolutely incredible, 10 out of 10, this becomes 10 times easier. 10 times easier. And so how do you master your state? You have the spiritual, you have the mental, you have the physical. Okay? For the physical state, what I highly recommend is get in a routine of working out. Work out, work your body, get in a good healthy weight, right? Drop the weight. Get energized. Eat great foods. Eat fruits, eat meats, eat whole foods. Drink some coffee, right? Hydrate, drink electrolytes, drink lemon with Celtic salt every single morning. That's what I do with iodine, sea moss, and magnesium. And wake up feeling amazing. Sleep well, go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m., right? All of these little things you probably already know of to feel great for your health, so important. So we cannot have a body that is fat and tired and unhealthy and be able to create. We have to be a pristine body. The body's a temple. And we need to be locked in physically and mentally so that spiritually we are aligned. That's the Trinity. So master your state. Eat great foods, go to the gym, invest in your physical health, invest in your mental health, right? Get some blue light glasses so you can sleep better. All these little things make a massive difference. Again, it makes it 10 times harder. If you're tired, if you're overweight, if you don't feel well, it's not going to work. Story about this as well. Mastering your state. I dealt with chronic illness for a large period of my life. I was undiagnosed with a hypothyroid disease. When I was 14 years old, it started, and I finally got diagnosed at 17. So for about 3 years, I was literally a zombie. I was sleeping in all of my classes. I was failing all of my classes. I was a competitive athlete, but I was struggling and everything. My hormones, with the thyroid, your hormones are all jacked up. You feel lethargic, you feel tired. I didn't know what was going on. It was rough. When I got on medicine, okay, things got a little bit better. But it wasn't everything because honestly, if you're on a big pharma medication, you're limiting how your state can feel. And so because of the medication and my thyroid disease that I had, gaining weight was very easy. My metabolism sucked. I went undiagnosed for 3 years. Thyroid also affects metabolism. And so during COVID, I gained 30 pounds. I thought I was eating fine, but again, because of these things, I gained a ton of weight. So I went to the doctor, and they said, you have to either go low carb for the rest of your life and lose the weight, or you're gonna become diabetic, and you'll be fat, you'll have high blood pressure, and that will be your life. Pick. And so obviously I went low carb. I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. I went keto. And when I lost the weight, honestly, I was 22. Losing that weight, getting into that physical shape, having that energy back that I've never had in my entire life was the catalyst behind my ambition. It was the catalyst behind taking tons of action. Because again, if you don't feel well, you're not going to be motivated, you're not going to be inspired, you're not going to be ambitious. So I lost all this weight. I gained all this energy back just naturally because I was lighter, I felt better. And it was literally the catalyst for businesses, millions, all the things that I'm doing now. It started with my state. That's how important state is. Don't neglect it. Number 5, gratitude. Gratitude is an anchor of faith. Let's underline that one. I want to underline them all because they're all important, but let's talk about gratitude. So, gratitude is so important because if we are living in a state of faith, of ownership and certainty around what we want is already ours, which is the premise of all law of attraction manifesting, you would probably be pretty grateful. Let's go back to the yacht. Let's go back to the yacht. We're on the yacht. Beautiful food spread. Amalfi Coast maybe. That sounds nice. And we're on this yacht. Do you not think it would be appropriate to have gratitude? Like it would, right? Like obviously you should feel grateful for the life you have. That is so magnificent, so marvelous, and so opulent and incredible. You would have gratitude, right? So why don't we have it now? Because gratitude is a component of already having what you want, which is what we need to be practicing, which is the ultimate premise of faith. If you truly have faith, it's already yours. Gratitude is a byproduct, very simply. And so we have to practice gratitude in everything we do. And we can anchor in gratitude, and this was a massive click for me personally, because story time, when I was 23, I started meditating. I found Joe Dispenza, and I started meditating. I found his book, The Green One. Look it up. It's great. And he talks heavily about owning the state of achievement, right? When you have this, you feel this, so feel it now, right? That's the power. That's how we can really shift things in our world. And so I was doing meditations, and I'll just write down like meditations. I was doing the meditations that he mentions. I'm visualizing the life. And the anchor of all of it is just being grateful, right? Like you can obviously feel other things like excited and energized and giddy and all these other amazing things. But when you're doing these meditations and when you're seeing the life you want, we'll talk about visualization. When you're seeing the life you want, you feel great. You feel so grateful. You know what I mean? Like let's do another exercise. Yacht's cool, but let's say you get off the yacht and you see, somebody struggling, right? Story time. I was in Greece. Well, I'll make it about myself. I was in Athens, and I was walking on the main, one of the main roads of Athens, and there was a homeless person begging for money on the side of the road, and it was pretty gruesome. Like their arm was like cut open, like very severely. They were like crying. They were like whimpering. It was very, very sad. It was very sad. And I opened my wallet and I gave him all the money I had. I don't know how much I had. I think I had like €100, whatever I had at the time. I gave him all the money I had. And while we can't necessarily like completely alter other people's lives, we can give. I'll talk about that very shortly. We can't impact. We can't help. And in that moment, I had a lot of gratitude that I had the resources to give and help somebody, even if it was just like his food for the next day, right? Because people are suffering. And if we can have gratitude for giving and for helping, that feels good. Like imagine you can give your parents, let's say, $10,000. That would feel amazing, right? And oftentimes the strongest feelings of gratitude that we can conjure up come from giving. And that's going to be next. But feel the gratitude. Feel the gratitude of ownership, of the money, of the freedom, of the giving, of every intricate aspect of the life that you want. Very, very important anchor of your faith. Let's talk about giving freely and fearlessly. Give fearlessly plus freely. So, number 6, giving fearlessly. You see how everything's connected? Everything's connected. It's a beautiful thing. Give fearlessly and freely. So, story time, because stories are an amazing way to tie in a point. Before I really understood all this, before the money started to come, I was at the grocery store, and business, grinding away, and let's just say when I went to the grocery store, I was looking at some prices. I wasn't just like whatever I want, right? I was looking at some prices, and I was very self-conscious of what I was spending, what I could buy, what made sense to get. And so I was in such a state of fear. I was in such a state of scarcity. How can you expect to attract millions if you're living in such a fierce state? You're not spending freely. You're not spending fearlessly, right? I was in such a fierce state, and I was like, what would abundance do? What would this millionaire version of myself do? Do you really think I'd be afraid to spend a couple more dollars on maybe some better meat or some better fruit or whatever the case is? Of course not, right? You're acting not in accordance to the law. And so what we have to do is we have to assume the state, and we have to give and spend fearlessly and faith and with full of faith, freely and fearlessly. And this can be for the food you buy. This can be, like, I don't care if you have $10 to your name, give $1 away. Fearlessly and freely, give $1 away. It always comes back. Every single time you give, it is an investment to yourself. Every single time you give, it is an investment to yourself. Remember that period of time, that dark period where I was in between and then I got that deal? In between that period, I got this hunch. We're going to talk about hunches next. Everything's connected. I got this hunch. And I'm consciously in a conscious mind of how can I keep living more accordance to the law, one of which is giving. And so I got a hunch, and the hunch was take my mom to lunch, a nice lunch. So I said, Mom, let's go to lunch. You know, like typically when I think of giving, it typically goes to my mom just because she's great. She deserves it all. And so I took my mom to the Ritz. We had lunch. I paid. She's like, no, don't pay. I'm like, come on. I paid. And shortly after that, the money came. Because I gave fearlessly and freely. Because think about it, guys. If you have money coming, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid to give or spend? The money's coming. It's a stress test of your faith. You have to practice in accordance to the law. It's showing to the universe, to God itself, that you're not afraid because you know it's coming. That is faith. That is faith. Dig your ditches, right? Show your acts of faith by giving and spending fearlessly and freely. Go clean out your closet. Go, I don't know, give money to a homeless person. Go buy somebody lunch. Or just talk with somebody. Give your energy and time and help them in any way you can. It's a stress test of your faith. Because if you're not willing to do that, then you don't have faith. You just don't, right? Because if you did, you would. Let's talk about hunches and acting on hunches. I'll probably have to erase this really quickly. Okay, let's talk about hunches. Hunches plus divine leads. Yeah. So everybody has a divine purpose of their life. Everybody's here for a certain reason. I really believe that. And so we should probably find out what that is, right? That's probably a good idea. When you're going through this process, you are going to get leads, divine leads. You're going to get hunches. You're going to get inclinations to do certain things. Like I got a random inclination, clean out my closet, take my mother to lunch, all these random things. One time I had a divine hunch to go to LA for the day. I just blocked off my calendar. I went to LA. Because you're getting them for a reason, okay? And if you're schizophrenic, this is a full disclosure, okay? But typically we're getting hunches and divine leads for a reason. When we're acting in accordance to the law, we're getting hunches and divine leads. Act on them immediately. It's happening for a reason, okay? If you get a random hunch, a random divine lead to go somewhere, to see somebody, just trust it. Stress test of faith. Trust it. Some random miracle is going to happen. Believe me, it's going to appear. It's going to expecting miracles. That'll be number 8. We'll get to that in a minute. Act on it. If you've ever had an inclination to give somebody money or do something or start this business or whatever, act upon it. And if we want to supercharge this, use our words, right? We can say an affirmation like, I command a divine lead of my life under grace and perfect ways. You say that, you're going to get a divine lead. Guaranteed, right? Because we have faith that the word is our law. And so we can say these words to instigate and have divine leads flow into our life. And then it'll just happen, right? So if you're currently in a state of lost or confusion, or you're really unsure about where you want to take your life, say affirmations around receiving a divine lead under grace and perfect ways. When you do this, the divine lead will come, the hunch will come, the intuitive feeling will come, and you have to act immediately. Act. Whenever you feel the urge to do something and act, do it. It's part of your divine plan. And oftentimes, these hunches and these leads that we do and we act upon, nothing's going to come of them immediately. Back to faith, right? We have to have faith that this is the divine plan. And so when we do this, it's all in accordance to the law. And miracles happen. That's when you expect miracles. That's when miracles happen. So let's go to number 8, expecting miracles. Okay. I might go over 10 to be honest, because I just get ideas, and that's okay. That is definitely okay. 8. Expect miracles. What we expect, we get. You know what the worst saying is? Expect the best, prepare for the worst, whatever it is. I hate that saying so much that I've actually purged it out of my subconscious mind of knowing, so I don't even know the right way to say it. You should prepare for the best and expect the best. That is the only saying you should have. And when we expect anything but miracles, here's the problem. You're closing the doors to receive because you're in a mode of resistance. You're saying, I expect this, so this is what's going to happen. And there's no other possibilities. And you close yourself off to miracles, to possibilities. For us to manifest, it's a process of opening your doors to all possibilities. It's called non-resistance. That's number 9. Everything's flowing. I'm going off script. We have to expect miracles. And this is hard. Let me tell you why it's hard. Again, we're programmed, right? The subconscious programming. So we're programmed decades of our lives, unless you're 8 years old. Decades of our lives have programmed us to conform and expect certain things, right? You're in a job, so you expect X paycheck every single week, and that's reality, and that's not life, okay? Life is fluid. There's unlimited possibilities that could happen. Back to my story, I was selling payroll, right? In that job, I was expecting to make 42, I think it was like 42,000, right? Some commission, but I was expecting a paycheck. I was expecting some commission. So guess what I got? I only got that. But if we want to create marvelous change, and if we want to manifest things that are incredible and remarkable, which, trust me, they're real, we have to expect different things. We have to open up our mind to expecting things that are against what we normally do, against our external reality. And so the best way to really nail this down is to use your words, use your mind, right? Back to the feeling, back to the words, back to the faith. We have to use our words to program us to expect miracles, right? We're undoing years and years and years of programming. We're undoing this. And so it takes time, right? It takes time. And so we have to have faith and we have to expect miracles. So use your words, use your visualization, your meditation, that you fully expect miracles and that they happen. And that it's normal. Boom, 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 right? You'll get to that state. When we control our state, physical, mental, spiritual, using our words, actively practicing faith, giving freely, spending fearlessly, and we're visualizing and we're seeing our life, expect it, expect it, expect it. Okay, number 9 is non-resistance. I might go over the 10, but that's okay. Non-resistance. When we are in a state of expecting a certain thing and trying to control everything, whether it's our external current reality or what we're manifesting, right? This is specifically around what we want. So let's say you want more money. That's probably why you're here. You want more money, but you're trying to control the situation. That's not going to work. You can't say, I want this much, this way, and this way, and this way. You're not letting the infinite world work, right? Miracles happen when we're in a state of non-resistance. We cannot fully control things because the source of all of our receiving is not from us. It's not from the human form. And when things start rolling, this is a trap people get into, and I've been into this trap as well. When things start rolling, you start making all this money, you start to get in a state of I'm doing it. You're not. The source of everything is the divine intelligence. It's the Father within. It's bigger than you, and so you can't be in a state of resistance. You cannot. You have to be in a state of non-resistance. And these are all things you can practice with your words, with your programming, with listening to audiobooks, with meditations, with affirmations, controlling your state, to get into a state of non-resistance. Let it go. Be free. You can't control something because you're not the end source. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm more or less the end source of like putting the pen here. But when it comes to manifesting, expecting miracles, you're not the end source. It's the divine. It's something much larger than you are. You're just living in accordance to the laws of the divine to create, right? So you're an instrument. You're an instrument of faith. So you can't have resistance. You have to be in a state of non-resistance. Let's talk about subconscious garbage. This is such a big one. My very first pillar, garbage, was faith. And I said, any negative emotion hurts you. It's poisonous, it's cancerous. It needs to be completely purged from the subconscious mind. You need to have such a pristine, snow white subconscious, like perfect subconscious mind. And what stops that oftentimes until it's purged is your subconscious garbage. And this can come up in so many ways. One of the often ways that people don't realize it comes up with, because it doesn't seem correlated, is resentment or envy towards other people. And this causes illnesses in the body, and this is very serious stuff. But, and I'll write that just to preface, like resentment, envy, and I'll just cross them out just because we don't want that. But let's say, I'll give you a personal example. I was in New York in 2019. I was there for a work trip, that lovely payroll job. I was there for a work trip. We had a retreat in New Jersey, and then we went to New York City the weekend after with everybody as more of a vacation at that point. All the work was done. And I was out late at night, and I was with a coworker of mine, and we were grabbing like drunk pizza. I don't drink anymore, but it was drunk pizza. And it was like 3 a.m, and basically what happened was she like slipped, like walking out of the pizza. I'm pretty drunk. I don't really know what's going on. So I'm walking along and I hear like people calling me back, and she was on the ground. So I walk back, I'm like, what happened? Whatever. And this guy, I'm not even kidding you, this guy, whatever, literally sucker punches me in the face as I'm like looking down at this girl on the ground. This guy sucker punches me in the face, pushes, I'm thankful to still have my teeth, pushes all of my teeth back. Like these 2 teeth were like pushed into my mouth. How they didn't fall out, built different. Anyways, I'm literally looking at the ground. He hits me. So I fall back. I don't fall, but I fall back. Blood's rushing, obviously call an ambulance. And I spent the whole night in the ambulance. I had to get surgery. I had to get root canals. It was gnarly. And like I look up, the guy ran away. It was like the craziest thing ever. Now that I really think about it, it's absolutely crazy. For a very long time, I held a lot of resentment toward that guy. I'm like, I don't even know you. We might have said 2 words to each other. I wasn't even looking at you. I like literally complete sucker punch in the face, and then he ran off. And so obviously, naturally, I had resentment. I was like, that guy's an asshole, blah, 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 whatever, all those negative emotions. It was holding me back subconsciously. Because it's completely counterintuitive towards love, faith, abundance, all of those amazing emotions that we have to embody. Completely counterintuitive. And in my conscious mind, I was like, what would me having resentment towards a dude that sucker punched me have to do with me manifesting money? like it doesn't make any logical sense. But when you understand the law, and when you understand that negative emotions of any kind towards any person at any given moment is holding you back, because we only have so much conscious space, right? And if it's in your subconscious mind, any negative emotions holding you back, because what you give, you receive at all times. And so I had to come to peace with that instance. I had to come to peace with that guy and be like, I literally send him love and forgiveness. I do. From the bottom of my soul. And this is another way you can use your words. I erased it, but using your words. You can say to anybody, anytime, when you're by yourself, not to their face, but like, when you're by yourself, anybody that's ever done you wrong, you have to clear your resentment. You have to say, I send them love and forgiveness, and be at peace with it. Cleanse your soul out. Because we want to radiate at the highest frequency possible. And that's impossible if we're feeling negative emotions. No matter how in the right you may be about feeling that certain way, you have to get rid of those emotions and clear them out. Because it's going to hold you back. It's going to hold you back a lot. And it frees up space and it gives you more energy and frequency to manifest, expect miracles, and do all these amazing things. So clear your subconscious mind through words, through meditation. You can write this stuff down as well to just give yourself that extra programming to just totally clear it out. Totally clear it out. Envy, I've never been an envious person, but envy is also another big one. Where if you're envious of somebody, clear it out. Send them love, send them forgiveness. You have to. This is the subconscious purging. There's also a lot of subconscious garbage that comes around money, like our programming that I was telling you about, that we're undoing in real time. Right? You could have the subconscious garbage of struggling as a child, of growing up poor, of your family this, of your family that, of whatever, of past experiences. Gotta clear it out. Right? Gotta purge it. Write it down on paper. Use your words, use present tense, reprogram yourself to rid yourself of any scarcity, any negative emotion, any negative feeling that can be holding your subconscious mind back. I'm gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more, the bonus one. It's called 11. Obviously, it goes after 10. What the fuck is that? Okay. We're doing one more. And we're going to call it Protect Your Influences. You get it. Protect your influences. When you're in the process of reprogramming your subconscious mind, having faith, not having fear, spending and giving, and practicing these laws, protecting your influences becomes very important. Because if you spend time with people that drag you down and bring you back down to the person you used to be, it's going to make things harder, right? It's going to add friction. So take stock of your friends, your family, who you spend time with, the content you consume, the things you absorb, the things you watch. They're either helping you or hurting you. Like, I don't really listen to music anymore, like very, very rarely. It's all audiobooks. It's all programming, because why would I want to absorb anything that isn't taking me that way? I wouldn't, right? And so, do you need to necessarily like hard cut off people? No. Spend less time with them. Gradually spend less time with them. And with time as well, as you go through this process and as you start, rocking and rolling, you're going to meet people that are perfectly aligned. And again, the way we create change and the way we affirm is words, belief, faith, meditation, all these things, right? So you can see in your mind's eye, you can visualize things, you can see yourself with a new group of people, you can see yourself having amazing conversations, you can speak and use your word as faith and as law, that you're around only amazing people. And naturally, the universe will just kind of like weed them out. It'll naturally just like put people in your life that are more aligned, because especially with people you've known a long time, right? Especially like family. I'm very thankful where I'm closest to my mother and my father, and they don't bring me down. Okay, camera died, but protect your influences. Only consume things that are actively pushing you and motivating you towards what you want to manifest and the person you are becoming in real time. Hope you enjoyed that presentation. It was a lot of information. I hope you took some notes. This stuff has literally changed my life so fast. It's unbelievable. It's real. It's powerful. Jump in and have faith.